Welcome back to our journey through literature. Last time, we left you right on the edge, really, with the tension in Othello just building and building towards something, well, pretty devastating.
Yeah,
We saw Iago, that absolute master manipulator, engineer Cassio's public fall from grace, his demotion.
right. The setup was complete.
And he laid all this groundwork for his next plot, which is just so much more insidious. He even told us, didn't he, straight out, his plan to pour this pestilence into Othello's ear.
Mm-hmm. Turning Desdemona's goodness against her.
Exactly. Twisting her attempts to help Cassio into pitch, to enmesh them all. And remember, the whole war with the Turks just fizzled out, so the human drama, that's front and center now. Everyone's settled in Cyprus.
And that takes us right into Act 3. And look, this act is the absolute pivot of the whole play. No exaggeration.
Turning point.
Absolutely. Think of it as the crisis, maybe the climax even, where everything just changes.
Yeah.
Irrevocably. So our objective today is to do a really close reading of this act. Pull apart how it drives the plot forward, sure, but also how it deepens these characters and really cranks up the intensity of the play's big themes.
Okay.
You're basically about to see Iago at his most chillingly effective and Othello, well, at his most vulnerable.
Right. So Iago's poison is already kind of brewing. Let's dive into Act 3, Scene 1. We immediately see the fallout from Cassio's disgrace, don't we?
Oh, definitely. He's scrambling.
He's trying to get his reputation back, and in doing that, he just walks straight into Iago's trap.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cassio, still reeling from losing his position. He's desperate to get back in Othello's good graces. His first idea, hiring musicians to play for Othello. It's almost sweet, but naive.
Yeah, a bit clueless.
And even that bit with the clown sending the musicians away. It sort of underscores Cassio's desperation, maybe how out of touch he is with the situation.
Yeah.
But the really key structural bit here is when Cassio asks Emilia directly to set up a private meeting with Desdemona.
He's pinning all his hopes on her influence.
He really is. He thinks she can smooth things over with Othello.
And then, it's almost comical if it weren't so sinister, how fast Iago shows up.
Right on cue.
He just swoops in, looking like the most helpful, supportive friend imaginable, promises to get Othello out of the way so Cassio can talk to Desdemona alone.
It's just a masterclass in deception, isn't it?
Yeah.
Makes him look completely trustworthy to Cassio, to Emilia.
And poor Emilia, she genuinely tries to reassure Cassio, tells him Desdemona's already trying to help, although she does mention, Othello's facing some political pressure because Montano's a big deal in Cyprus.
Yeah, she adds that little complication.
Yeah.
But what's crucial here, character-wise, is Cassio. His whole world is his reputation. Losing it has crushed him, and that's what's driving him.
He feels like he's lost himself.
Exactly. And in his reliance on Desdemona, it shows how much he wants redemption, but maybe also how he's not quite grasping the danger. And Emilia. She's loyal to Desdemona, sympathetic to Cassio, seems like a good person, but she is just tragically blind to how truly evil her husband is.
A pawn, like you said.
A well-meaning pawn in his game. Yeah.
And then we get that line in this scene, oh, it just hits you, knowing what's coming. Cassie says about Iago, I never knew a Florentine more kind and honest.
That line. Right. It's pure dramatic irony, isn't it? But it's more than just clever writing.
It hurt.
It's a gut punch. Because we, the audience, know Iago is a villain. We've heard him say, I am not what I am. And here's Cassio, completely fooled, praising his honesty. It just ramps up the dread, because Othello's going to fall for the exact same act.
Shows how easily people can be deceived.
Devastatingly so. Even good people. So yeah, this scene, it sets up the meeting, but it also just hammers home that theme of appearance versus reality. Iago, the kind and honest friend, versus Iago, the monster. And Cassio's desperation highlights how much weight they all put on reputation.
Okay, so Cassio's fate is hanging by a thread. Iago's plan is moving. And then Shakespeare gives us this tiny little scene, Act 3, Scene 2. Almost blink and you miss it.
Right, it's very brief. Transitional, really.
Yeah.
Othello's just giving Iago some letters to deliver. They talk state business for a second.
It's interesting, though. It kind of reinforces Othello's position, his focus on duty.
Exactly. He's still the general, in command, and crucially, still completely trusting Iago with official tasks. It creates this sort of calm before the storm.
A whole sense of security.
Precisely. It highlights the peace and order Othello currently has, which makes the chaos about to erupt in the next scene feel even more shocking. It shows how far he's about to fall.
Okay, so that calm doesn't last long. Now we hit it. Act 3, Scene 3. The temptation scene. This is the big one, isn't it?
This is it. The absolute heart of the play, the dramatic core. You could argue it is the climax. Everything that's been building just explodes here. And once this scene is done, There's no turning back for Othello.
So walk us through it. How does Iago actually manage to poison Othello's mind so completely, so quickly?
Well, it's where Iago reveals his terrifying genius for psychological warfare.
Hmm.
He doesn't just come out and accuse Desdemona. That might actually backfire.
Too obvious.
Right. Instead, he uses hints, insinuations, loaded questions, pretends he doesn't want to say anything.
Feigned reluctance.
Exactly. And Desdemona, bless her, comes in pleading for Cassio, trying to get him reinstated. She's being loyal and kind, but because Iago's already planted these seeds of doubt, her very virtue starts to look suspicious to Othello.
So her goodness becomes twisted.
Completely twisted. Then Iago drops the handkerchief into the conversation. He doesn't say he saw Desdemona give it away. Not yet. He just, mentions seeing Cassio wipe his beard with it later.
Yeah.
Plants that image, the seed.
Mm.
And Othello starts demanding proof, ocular proof. He needs to see it. And Iago provides his evidence, which is mostly just his own twisted interpretations and lies, delivered with perfect timing and apparent honesty.
And Othello buys it.
He buys it. Hook, line, and sinker. He descends into this absolute rage of jealousy, swears revenge on Desdemona and Cassio, and even promotes Iago on the spot. The transformation is, honestly, it's breathtakingly fast and brutal.
What's the very first little spark Iago uses? The first hint?
It's almost casual. He sees Cassio leaving Desdemona and says something like, huh, I like not that. And when Othello asks what he means, Iago plays coy.
Yeah.
Then maybe his comment about Cassio stealing away so guilty like,
Just enough to make Othello wonder.
just enough. But his real power is suggestion. He lets Othello's own imagination do the heavy lifting, fill in the blanks. He asks Othello, did Michael Cassio, when you wooed my lady, know of your love? Seems innocent, right?
But it implies.
It implies a shared past, a possible secret between Cassio and Desdemona. And once that idea is in Othello's head, fueled by jealousy, it festers.
And what about that speech Iago gives Othello about reputation? Who steals my purse steals trash. But stealing a good name makes you poor indeed. That's the complete opposite of what he told Cassio earlier.
Fantastic point. Earlier, he told Cassio reputation was basically worthless, an idle and most false imposition. Now he tells Othello it's everything.
It just shows his utter duplicity. He uses whatever argument suits his purpose at the moment.
Exactly. He weaponizes ideas, morality itself. And Othello, God, the change in him. He goes from this noble, eloquent general
Confident.
to a man tortured, speaking in violent, chaotic images. Love turns literally to hate before our eyes. And Desdemona just stands there, this picture of innocence, passionately arguing for Cassio, and every word she says just digs her own grave deeper in Othello's mind.
Her kindness condemns her.
Tragically, yes.
Let's look at some of those killer lines. Iago says, men should be what they seem, or those that be not, would they might seem none. The irony.
Oh, it's thick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coming from the man who declared, I am not what I am. Why does Shakespeare let us see Iago so clearly?
To make it more painful.
I think so. It ramps up the tragedy. We see the truth, we want to scream at Othello, but we can't. His blindness is agonizing because we know what he doesn't. It puts us in this terrible position of knowing helplessness.
And Othello's own line early in the scene, excellent wretch, perdition catch my soul, but I do love thee. And when I love thee not, chaos is come again.
So poignant. He basically predicts his own downfall. He links losing his love for her directly to chaos. And that's exactly what Iago unleashes. It's like the last moment of pure love before it all shatters.
And then the famous one, Iago's warning, oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on.
It's a brilliant manipulation. He warns Othello about jealousy while simultaneously planting it and feeding it. The very act of warning makes him seem trustworthy, concerned.
Using the warning itself as a weapon.
Precisely. And the scene culminates in Othello's horrifying vow. Now do I see 'tis true. Look here, Iago. All my fond love thus do I blow to heaven. 'Tis gone. Arise, black vengeance, from thy hollow cell.
That's it. The point of no return.
That's the moment. The love is officially dead, replaced by vengeance. And the handkerchief, or rather Iago's story about seeing Cassio with it that becomes the ocular proof Othello desperately needed, it pushes him right over the edge.
So this one scene, it's just packed. All the themes collide. Jealousy is unleashed like a force of nature.
Central.
Appearance versus reality is Iago's entire toolkit.
His whole strategy
Manipulation is just masterful psychological warfare.
dominates the scene.
And the trust Othello placed in Iago versus the betrayal he now believes from Desdemona. It's all there. It explodes in this scene.
And the fallout is immediate. We see it straight away in Act 3, Scene 4. This scene shows Othello completely consumed by Iago's poison. He confronts Desdemona about the handkerchief.
But not just asking for it.
No, no, he treats it like this sacred magical object, a symbol of her fidelity, her life even. And he demands it back with this rising aggression that's actually quite scary.
And Desdemona, she has no idea why he's so fixated on it, right? She doesn't know what Iago has done.
None at all. So she tries to change the subject, bring it back to Cassio, trying to get him reinstated.
Which, to Othello's poisoned mind,
Looks like more proof.
this
Just feeds his rage. Her innocent persistence damns her further in his eyes. And then we get that awful moment where Amelia mentions, almost casually, that she found the handkerchief and gave it to Iago.
Oh, God. She still doesn't know.
No idea what she's unleashed. It's heartbreaking. Even the clown pops up briefly before this main confrontation, a tiny moment of sort of grim humor before the storm really breaks.
And just when you think it can't get worse for Othello's perception, Bianca shows up.
Right, Cassio's mistress. And she has the handkerchief. Cassio gave it to her, asked her to copy the embroidery because he liked it.
An innocent request on his part.
Completely innocent. But for Othello, seeing Bianca with it, that is the final, visual, undeniable confirmation. It seals Desdemona's fate in his mind.
The change in Othello here is stark. He's not just angry. He seems irrational, almost mad. His obsession with the handkerchief, the way he speaks to Desdemona.
He's utterly lost to jealousy. And Desdemona is just baffled, distressed. She can't understand this transformation in him. And her pleas for Cassio, they just keep backfiring horribly. She actually says it, doesn't she? Expresses fear for the first time.
Yeah, my lord is not my lord, nor should I know him were he in favor as in humor altered. She realizes the man she loves is gone.
It's a devastating realization. And Amelia, well, her giving the handkerchief to Iago was the catalyst, even though she didn't mean it to be. You see her start to notice Othello's change, though. She comments that men are not gods, hinting at a growing awareness, foreshadowing her own tragic discovery later on.
And Othello's description of the handkerchief's history, it's so intense. He talks about magic, Egyptian charmers, its power to keep love alive.
He imbues it with immense symbolic weight, Makes it far more than just a piece of cloth. It represents chastity, fidelity, his mother's love, everything. So his repeated demands, the handkerchief, they become like this drum beat of his obsession.
Driving him deeper into madness.
And then Bianca walking in with it. Like you said, it's innocent for her and Cassio, but for Othello, it's the final nail in the coffin. Devastating, dramatic irony. He sees proof. We see the setup.
So the themes are just blazing here. Jealousy at fever pitch, Othello, totally irrational, appearance versus reality is crucial. The handkerchief, Desdemona's pleas, all misinterpreted. And that core tension, Othello's demand for absolute fidelity versus his perception of absolute betrayal. It locks him onto this tragic path. What's the single biggest shift for you in Othello by the end of this act?
I think it's the complete destruction of his reason. His trust is shattered, not just in Desdemona, but in himself, in his ability to judge. He demands ocular proof, but then accepts Iago's words and flimsy suggestions as proof. Jealousy just consumes everything else. So yeah, Act 3 is absolutely the crisis point. The rising action peaks. Othello makes his fatal decision. He chooses vengeance over love.
Wow. Okay, so Act 3 is definitely the turning point. No going back. Iago's web has well and truly trapped Othello. We saw that gradual buildup of suspicion just explode into absolute conviction in Othello's mind. He's irrevocably changed. The noble Moor is, well, becoming monstrous. And that handkerchief played such a huge role, symbolically and literally.
Couldn't agree more.
So now that his love has curdled into this black vengeance, as he calls it, what happens next? What are the immediate consequences going to be for everyone as we head into Act 4? We've seen the turn, now we brace for the flow-out.
Exactly. The falling action begins now.
Thank you for joining us on this literary journey. If you're nodding along, help other curious minds discover these conversations too. Press like and subscribe.